Susan. Welcome to Tea and Games. The tea today is Yorkshire Tea's Malty Biscuit Brew, which tastes kind of like dunking shortbread into tea. It's good stuff. Kind of cozy because we're having a nice rainy day here. I'm hoping that this looks like I am properly exposed. I was afraid it was going to be too dark to film anything. It's just been raining and raining. And we've been playing games. The past few weeks, I've been making videos 2 at a time and then scheduling them so that I was actually working ahead, I guess you might say. But now we're all caught up, so yeah, falling behind again. I intended to do this on Monday. So we've been playing some stuff, including some stuff that I did not think I was going to play. So anyhow, I will bring y'all up to date on some things. The first thing that I want to mention is those of you who saw the video we did back when we played Fields of Arle a long time ago, and that sound you heard, that thunk was the Chihuahua hitting the floor. Esme has left the building. No, she's just left the room. When we did our play of Fields of Arle, which we really need to get back to the table, I said I like it better than Agricola, All Creatures Big and Small. That's what my husband Robert said also. But it had been years since we played this, and I thought we should get this back to the table. And then I got Lowlands, which I've done a video on more recently, and after playing that, we're going like, wow, I like this much better than Agricola, All Creatures Big and Small. And I got to thinking, yeah, that's really not right. It has literally been years since we played this, and it's not like we played it a lot. I think it was kind of a one and done thing. Actually, I'm not absolutely sure that we played this recently enough for me to have logged a play on Board Game Stats. I didn't even look for that, but I thought we need to play it again. So we have. We've now played it 3 times since I made that video about Lowlands. And this is, you might notice, the big box here. And the reason why I got All Creatures Big and Small instead of regular Agricola is because our primary player count is 2. And I wasn't really sure if I was going to like the whole thing anyway, so I thought, yeah, let's get the 2-player thing. And I got the big box because more stuff. So yeah, there's a huge baggie of building tiles in here. We've still been playing with the base game tiles just to get ourselves oriented because we like to start playing and we get a certain amount in the game and we're going like, oh yeah, I really should have done this before that. So it's like our play is still a little wonky, but the next time we're going to start rolling in some of those advanced building tiles. I think we're oriented enough at this point. But yeah, I will throw up a picture of the first play that we did of this recently, which is not our first play ever, but still, this is just my board, but I made quite a mess. An impressive mess. And there is one thing I want to say, and that is I think Lowlands has kind of ruined me a tiny bit because every time we've played this, I keep looking at the tiles, looking for that amazing tile that I had, the building that I did in Lowlands that allowed me to multiply the sheep that I kept on the board like tremendously. And then I keep thinking, oh, that's not this game that has that. So that's another reason why I'm now starting to itch to get into some of those advanced tiles, is because I got some good stuff when we played Lowlands. And now with playing with just this All Creatures Big and Small with just the basic building tiles, I'm kind of going like, this is not good enough. I want more stuff. So yeah, we're going to dig into the big box a bit more. But the real question is, do I still think that the 2 previously mentioned games are better than this one? And I would have to say, yeah, no, yeah, I don't know. I'm not sure. The thing that really strikes me is that these 3 farming games, Fields of Arle, Agricola, All Creatures Big and Small, Big Box, and Lowlands, they kind of fill a different niche in terms of the gameplay, because Fields of Arle is a big two-player sandbox farming game. This is a two-player game, not quite so much of the sandbox feel. It's very, very tight in terms of what you have to do. You can't just do anything, because if you just do anything, it's just going to go very badly for you very quickly. But this is small and fast. You've got 8 turns. You've got 3 workers. You take turns putting your little workers out. Then you bring the workers home. Then you add extra livestock for the breeding phase if you've got 2 of something. And then you do it all again. So it's like 1, 2, 3. Bring the workers home. Let's see. Yes, I can get a sheep. I can get a cow and horse. Right. Okay. Let's load it back up again. Put our workers back out. 1, 1, 2, 2, 3, 3. And we bring our workers home. And do we have any sheep that we can get? And cows and horses and pigs. And we grab the little things and add them to our board. And then we do it again. So this thing plays pretty fast, even given thinking time. Although I could make a good argument that Robert and I should have thought much longer and harder about our decisions. Perhaps it shouldn't play as fast as we played it. But we are enjoying it, and that is the good thing. We have dusted it off. It is coming back to the table regularly now, because we've already gotten 3 plays in. We haven't even cracked open that big, fat baggie of advanced building tiles. So that's going to keep us occupied for a while. So yeah, I don't know. This is very short. It's very snappy. Basically, it can scratch the itch to play a farming game without a substantial investment of time, either in terms of setup or gameplay. And for that reason, you know, I was kind of thinking about culling this, because it's like, well, we did play it a very long time ago, but we haven't touched it since, and it doesn't seem likely we will. But Lowlands got me thinking about it again, and yeah, we're going to hang on to this. This seems like this is going to be a good thing to have in the collection. So anyhow, we have done it. We've dusted it off. We're playing it. So there was that. And then there was also, hang on a second, I've got to shift some things around here. Yeah, I've got the base game and two expansions in this. Base Game of Dominion and the Seaside expansion and the Prosperity expansion, because, oh man, I saw all that money on there and I thought, oh, this could be fun. It's like, look at all that money. Because it's like, even if you're not doing all that well, it feels good to get big money. And big money, theoretically, if you don't like totally tank a turn or two, will make you play well and get points. But we played Dominion a fair amount when we first got it, and then we got expansions, and then I got promo cards, and we kept kind of like, when we pull it out, we were always like learning new cards or trying out new cards to see how they worked with things we knew. And we never really just got a rhythm with some of that new stuff. And it's like we jumped from the base game into the expansions and the promos maybe a little too fast. And that kind of slowed down our plays. We started playing Dominion a lot less. And then, actually, I'm going to leave this kind of propped up here. And then we got Moon Colony Bloodbath, which is another Donald X Vaccarino game. And we play this every weekend, multiple times. It is at this point our most played game because it sets up very fast, it plays very fast, and at this point we know all the cards and we've gotten pretty good at optimizing combos. As a matter of fact, I have once again set a new record for total population at end of game. And I got proof, I got pictures. You know the old saying, if you don't have pictures, it didn't happen. I've got pictures. I built both domes and the complex, but we had cards mixed in this particular game that gave us money. I mean, you could get money off of stuff. Sometimes there are cards that it's like you have more time keeping that cash flow going. But I had good cash flow. Also had greenhouses, which sure doesn't hurt. And I was able to build 3 big cards. This is the most big cards I've ever had and been able to build in a single game. And I had a grand total score at the end of the game of 42 for the win. I don't think that record is going to fall anytime soon, because I mean, my mouth was hanging open. I was so astounded when I drew those big cards, because I drew big cards and I'm thinking I need to save up and build this. And then I draw another big card and I'm going like, yeah, I need to research. I cannot lose these to paperwork. I need to build these. And I managed to do it. So we've been playing this, and this has kind of edged out the other Donald X Boccarino deck building game, Dominion. But Dominion has come back into rotation, even though we are still playing Moon Colony, probably way more than we should. And we are now playing Dominion on a fairly regular basis. And what we've done is we've gone back to the base game. And we're going to play the base game until we know all of those card combinations inside and out very, very thoroughly. And then we're going to start rolling in the expansions a little bit at a time, instead of just kind of jumping in with all the things. Because once you've got the base game, a couple of expansions and promo cards, then you start ending up with like near infinite, or so it seems, stacks of, kingdom cards, combinations of kingdom cards. And I just feel like that we need to get better grounded in all the stuff the base game cards can do together with each other, and then just kind of start sliding in a few more cards from the other ones. So Dominion has been hitting the table. And if you're wondering about me having all the stuff in the box, I spent probably too much money getting organization for Dominion. But on the other hand, I got to the point where I didn't want to pull Dominion out, because I had like 3 boxes of stuff plus promo cards squirreled away in the various boxes to sort out. And it was just kind of a pain in the neck to set up. And I got this organization off of Etsy. Let me see here if I can turn it up. And I don't know if you can see, but it's got dividers for the various expansions. It's got names of the cards on the tabs, also the cost of the cards on the tabs. And so I've got all the things. And it's now, after I got this, we did start playing it a bit more, because we no longer had that whole thing about, oh gosh, I have to drag out so much stuff and sort through it, because now I can set it up very quickly. I actually timed myself, and I can set a base game of Dominion faster than Moon Colony Bloodbath. And I think it's because Moon Colony has players set up on boards and also dumping like tokens out into bit bowls and things. And I left the stuff out, the rule books and trash and things. So I always do that. And I always do it not just on camera. I mean, I always do it. Okay, so those are kind of some really solid games we've been playing, including some classic. Agricola has such a very good pedigree, as does Dominion. We are still playing Carcassonne every weekend. We've been playing Inns and Cathedrals, the River 2 expansion, with the season summer tiles, because summer tiles score for water. And with River 2 and Inns and Cathedrals, we've got a few more water tiles that we can help along the scoring on. So that's kind of some of the stuff that's been hitting the table. Oh yeah, we're also playing Cafe and Espresso a bit more. That's some of the stuff that's been hitting the table, this table, lately. But last weekend, we got together with a friend over at her house and played some other stuff. First of all, I'm going to introduce her to Beacon Patrol, because we like Beacon Patrol. And I thought she would like it too, because it's co-op and it's tile laying, and those are both things that she likes. Not everybody likes co-op. And not everybody is all that crazy about tile laying for that matter. But we introduced it to Beacon Patrol, and this gave us a player count of 3, whereas previously we had only played at 2. And I really do think 3 is the sweet spot for the player count, although there's a lot to be said for like the little table in terms of how many tiles and movement tokens you get for the solo mode. I think the solo mode on this might be pretty good, but I don't do the solo thing, at least not with this. I rarely ever play anything solo. I just play solo stuff on my phone. That's the thing. But speaking of digital versions, if you like Beacon Patrol and you have a Steam account, Beacon Patrol is on Steam, and they have extra modes of play that you can do, not just board game mode. And on one of the modes, I think it's the exploration mode, you can basically level up and unlock new ships, new tiles, and new and kind of easier sets of rules. I say kind of easier. Mostly the rules are just different, but they seem easier because they don't have the same constraints as this. They have a different set of constraints. So if you like Beacon Patrol and if you like Steam, so you should look for it on Steam because that is a lot of fun, and I have been playing that a lot. And one of the games I knew she liked was Welcome To, and as it happens, I have the collector's edition, which has a whole bunch of expansions, and including some that were not ever available for general release. And so I brought that because I thought since she liked this and she has one of the seasonal expansions, that she might want to just basically run her fingers through the various expansions and look over the rules and cards and stuff and see if there was anything in particular she was interested in of the ones that maybe she could get, or because they're kind of hard to get these days, or some of the newer ones. One of the ones we haven't played was the expansion in here called The American Dream. And so that was the one she chose to play. So we finally got our first play of that in. I think now there's still one expansion, the flip side of the American Dream board, that we have not played. These all have magnetic boards with dry erase markers, which I didn't check before we went, and the erase markers are drying up, so I'm going to have to replace them. So, yeah. Make a note to yourself, goodness knows I certainly should have, to check dry erase markers if you're taking a box that's got dry erase scoring or sheets or writing thingies. And then she introduced us to a new game, whereas I introduced her to Beacon Patrol, and we played Welcome To, which all of us already knew. Then she taught us Barren Park. And, okay, Barren Park is not like wildly new or innovative in some ways, but, and it is a gateway game. I do like light games, particularly if we don't have like huge amounts of time in which to really get into the weeds of a game or something. But I remember when it came out, I thought, oh, that looks neat. And then I say, oh, polyomino game. Do I really need another polyomino tile laying game? And I looked at it and I thought, I mean, it looks nice. Phil Walker Harding, it's got to be a good design, but I really don't need another polyomino tile laying game. I mean, I've got a bunch of them. And so I didn't get Barren Park, even though looking at it, I thought, oh yeah, that's probably something that we would enjoy playing. But I mean, it's not like I need it or anything. No, the copy of Barren Park now sitting on my game table. Actually, this is not a game table. For those of you who don't know, this is a game topper. It just looks like a game table and acts like a game table. But she taught us Barren Park, and I got maybe 3 turns in, and I'm looking at this, and I'm just going, I like this. I like this a lot. I've got to have this. Because the thing with board games, what makes me at least like a game, and Robert too for that matter, is if it just feels good playing it. Now, mind you, we played some pretty punishing games, but we enjoyed doing the thing. And that's the thing with board games. That determines how high I rate board games a lot of times is, do I really like doing the thing? How much do I really like doing those things? Does it flow? And whoa, boy, does this thing flow. I mean, you're just putting down a tile and picking up another tile and putting down a tile and picking up another tile and putting down a tile and picking up another tile, and whoa, there you've got a bear statue and another board, and you're just going and you're doing the thing, and next thing you know, it's all filled in and you've got this neat little bear park and you're adding up the scoring. This thing plays incredibly fast at 3 players, and it's got a player count of 4. So I'm kind of thinking it's not going to be a super long game, even at 4, because it played very snappy at 3 with 2 of the players never having played it before. But it just felt good. It's not the most difficult thing. And as far as that, do I really need another polyomino tile laying game? Well, the thing is, I said that when Barren Park came out, but I have actually gotten other polyomino tile laying games, more polyomino tile laying games, since I said, I'm not getting this because I don't need another polyomino tile laying game. But I've still gotten them. So, I mean, it's like, if I'm picking up these other polyomino tile laying games, so now I'm looking back and I'm going like, why not Barren Park? And it has a little bit of setup because you gotta like pull out the tiles and stack them up on the board, but I don't think that's gonna be too bad, especially if you have like multiple people opening up baggies and laying them out. And they have to be in a certain order because they're stacked with the higher numbers on top down to lower numbers on bottom. But yeah, that's kind of the way a lot of board games have that, where you pick up stuff, the way it goes. So it's like, and I'm thinking maybe there might be a way to like stack them up in the baggies so that they're going to end up staying in that order. We shall see. We have not played it on this table yet because it just came into the house today. So yeah, I've got a bear park. I said I wasn't going to get a bear park, and I've got a bear park. I've got farms and bear parks and housing divisions and moon colonies and, in the case of Dominion, kingdoms. Oh yes, and let's not forget beacon patrol, in which I am sailing around the Arctic Sea, which just sounds so cool on a hot summer day. I mean, technically that could be considered a winter game because it's like those are all icy lands and North Sea water that you're moving your little boat around. But I'm kind of going like beacon patrol feels like summer for me. I just look at that and I think, oh, cool. So that is what we have been up to. We have been playing games, new games, introducing people to games, them introducing us to games, pulling out old stuff that we haven't played in ages. And that's another thing about Welcome To. We used to play this like all the time, which is why I tracked down the collector's edition. But we just played it a whole bunch, and then a lot of other games came in, and it just kind of got shuffled to the back. But now we've dusted it off again, like Agricola, All Creatures, Big and Small, Big Box. So we're probably going to be playing that a bit more. So yeah, let me know if you have played these games, if you like these games. I'm just looking at this, and this is actually a fairly light selection, although I have recently gotten some heavier games. But yeah, that's kind of what's hitting the table because it's easier to fit in smaller, faster, lighter games around other stuff that you might be doing during the summer. And I do hope that y'all are having a really good summer. And I've just been sitting here talking so much I haven't even hardly drunk my tea. Oh. This is so good. But anyhow, it was good talking with y'all, and I'm still trying very hard to do these videos regularly, weekly, like I used to. And assuming I can pull that off again, I will see y'all next time round the table. Bye.